Hey, it's Brian with Wampler Pedals here today at my most favorite retailer in the entire universe. And I have been through the universe, so I know they are my most favorite. And it's In Stuff Music here in Pennsylvania. So if you're in Pennsylvania, you should check them out. Let's talk about a few of my personal favorite pedals that we do. Let's start with the Paisley Deluxe. It's made for arguably the best guitar player on earth, Brad Paisley. And I'm using his guitar. This is his personal guitar. I went to his house last night and borrowed it. Actually, no, I didn't. This is from the store here at In Stuff. But let's check it out. So it's got two different circuits on it. It's got the original circuit here, which was the Paisley original, let's call it. And then it has another higher gainy, kind of almost like a light fuzz type of thing that was based on the Underdog. So let's check it out. Here we go. First, my clean tone, of course, through the Bravado amp, which is a great clean amp. And going to the right channel, which is super gainy right now. Let's turn that gain down just a little bit so we can get some cleaner tones. And it does have a 3-band EQ. It's got kind of a little voicing switch. It changes the gain structure a little bit. And you can separate it so you can actually run it to a switcher, use it as two separate pedals. You can run channel 1 to channel 2, channel 2 to channel 1. Super cool. So let's go from that to my next favorite overdrive. You know what? I actually have a hard time comparing the two because I love the Pantheon so much. I love the Paisley Drive so much. But let's check out the Pantheon. If you like a blues breaker style pedal, you'll love it. If you like the King of Tone, you'll really love it. It's kind of like a cross between those two, but with much higher gain possibilities and more EQ flexibility. So right here we have a 3-position gain switch. We have 3 different styles of clipping. Think of clipping as how much compression, how much it's distorting, the type of distortion it's doing. We got a bass control, we have a treble control, we have a presence control. On the why 2 different tone controls? On the presence control, that was a little dial, a little trim pot on the inside of the King of Tone. Sounded fantastic. I just didn't like how you had to open up the pedal to get to it. So I want to put it on the outside. So with that said, I always say start with the presence all the way down. If you need a little bit of brightness, dial it in, but don't run it at noon. That's not going to be a good way to start that pedal. Right now, let's go on the lower gain setting. And here we go. Might want to dial a little more bass in it, maybe. And let's go to a different style of clipping. This is going to be soft clipping. We can clean that up quite a bit as well. And then we can go to super high gain. Super high gain here. Dial it in. So all different levels between completely clean to stupidly ridiculous distortion. And that's the Pantheon. I think you'll love that one, actually. So come here to In Stuff, check it out, play on it, buy the Paisley guitar when you do it, and think of me. And next, let's go on to, you know what? Let's talk about the Equator. We don't really give enough love to EQ pedals, I don't think. So the thing about EQ pedals that most people don't, not most, some, I would say, don't quite understand what in the world to do with an EQ pedal. I like to think of an EQ pedal kind of like spices. So let's say you got a good sandwich. Sometimes you need some mustard and some mayonnaise and some other stuff that you put on sandwiches, I suppose. That's what an EQ pedal will actually do. It'll add, well, you wouldn't really add mustard to your tone, but you can actually change the frequency of the EQ. So you have bass, you have two different levels of mids, and you have treble. Now, let me explain the different levels of mids. It's a semi-parametric. What that means is that you have a dial that you can sweep through different frequency ranges from like pretty, almost lows to almost treble frequencies. So you can select that frequency and then boost or cut that frequency. And then you have a volume, so you can use it as a booster if you want. Maybe make a mid sort of boosting circuit, or you can cut it. So for example, let's take a tube screamery type of circuit, such as the Clarksdale, and let's change that radically. All right, your basic tube screamer type of circuit. Not basic, but let's just call it your run-of-the-mill tube screamery thing that everybody knows. But let's say you don't really want all those mids. So let's cut some of those mids out of there. But maybe we want to add a little bottom end. Maybe we want to add a little bit of highs as well. Without that, so let's say that you want to actually boost the mids. Let's take something like the Plexi Drive, which is a fairly neutralish type of gain pedal, and let's boost those mids a bit. And right now it's off, so here's the normal sound. And let's add a little bit of EQ where we're boosting those mids. Trying to level down just a bit. So it's super handy to take a pedal that you have and kind of change it into something else that you might be more suitable for what you want, or even just to get a totally different type of tone with the pedals that you have. So that's the Equator. Let's talk about the Ethereal, which is a delay and a reverb. We have pretty cool. I wouldn't want to say it's like a tape echo, but kind of maybe sort of approaching that. Take that Plexi Drive off. We could also add reverb to that. So just reverb by itself. Add a little bit of delay with that. And then there's a couple different modes of delay on here, so let's go to something that's way more spacey. Fun pedal play with. Then our reflection reverb is it's sort of a plate style with sort of a spring switch. Just you can change the selector and do one or the other. You can also do infinite reverb with it. So right now, here's my reverb sound with the reflection. You can hear just a little bit of touch of plate. You turn that up dramatically. So it's totally different than what you'd have with the spring. A spring is going to be more surfy, more spongy, more little faux spring reverb here. So you can kind of hear it sounds more like an old spring tank. Reflection would be just more almost like a natural room. And if we take that decay all the way up, it's infinite reverb. Which is really fun to play with whenever you know, you're doing something that just like an ethereal, picturesque type of background part that you're playing. And let's talk about our most recent release, the Fust Raishin. Kind of loosely based around big muff type of topology with some changes. We have a 3-band EQ. We have a different switch that changes the character completely to something else. And we have an octave. It's kind of an Octavia style octave that you could put pre or post. In other words, before the fuzz or after the fuzz. Some people like it different ways. So let's run that fuzz real quick. And then let's throw that octave on top of it. And then again, with this style octave, it always works best. It's kind of a Hendrixy type of octave if you're thinking along those lines. Works best on the neck pickup. We throw that in pre, it changes the character completely. So as you can see, just a different type of texture whenever you're using an octave, so like that. So make sure you check out all the Wampler selection here at my favorite retailer in the universe, In Stuff Music. And thanks for watching, and we'll see you later with a new video.